First of all, I'd like to thank the ICBSS for this initiative. The artificial intelligence as a topic and its use is quite challenging for different institutions, starting with the universities. And we are here today to examine how this new challenge, these new technologies give us the opportunity to benefit from the use of them in our lives and what the risks are, so that we are aware of the risks, the challenges, and we can better address them in a way to make the artificial intelligence our friend. Briefly to introduce our organization and why we are moderating this webinar today. As an association of regions, the CPMR has member regions from across Europe. I am in charge of the Balkan Black Sea Commission of the CPMR, and we are a long-standing partner of the ICBSS. We also cooperate with the ICBSS and different universities in the wider Black Sea region on different EU-funded cooperation projects. So we know how the universities could benefit from this technology. We work with students on capacity building and skills, and we'd like to see your ideas, your thoughts, and learn more about this new trend in our lives. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome our today's speakers. We have with us Dr. Funda Alptekin and Professor Ömer Delialioglu from Middle East Technical University in Turkey, and Mr. Prodromos Markopoulos, an education manager from Educate. We'd like to start with our friends from Turkey and Medu, and we'd like them to share with us their thoughts to give us more information about how their university experiences this rapidly evolving landscape, and if they have any first feedback from their students. So, Dr. Alptekin, the floor is yours. Thank you for being with us. Please, I'm sorry for that. I'd like to remind all participants, in order to have a smooth flow of the event, to respect the housekeeping rules. You can see them on your chat. We have shared them with you. I'd like to thank the ICBSS for that. So, Dr. Alptekin, the floor is yours.
Thank you. We are happy to be here today. Our head of center, Delialioglu, to make the presentation today, and we'll answer the questions together. I'll take part to our head of the center.
Thank you, Funda. You could actually start if you because we have prepared the presentation together, so it will be the same thing that we will be talking about. Okay, let me start. Is it okay if I share a presentation?
I can share also.
Let me share it. So. Okay. So let me give you a little bit information about Middle East Technical University, in case you haven't been had any contact with the university before. So we are located in the capital of Ankara, in the capital of Turkey, in Ankara. We are actually a team of 5. But today we will be presenting together with Funda. And I would just quickly tell you our mission and vision in terms of our university's standing towards research and teaching. So we have three main missions, actually. The main mission, METU's mission, is to attain excellence in research, education, and public service for society, humanity, and nature in an environment nurturing creative and critical thinking, innovation, leadership, and universal values. A leading international university that transforms its region and the world. That's our vision. It will be like a shameless plug here, but it's the truth. That's why I have to say it. Turkey's premier state research university in all of the rankings. So let me tell you about quickly about the research potential of METU. We have a METU Technocant, 1.4 billion USD export, 17 billion TL national, and there are 415 companies and 10,000 employment. So besides research and teaching, we have a huge Technocant here, and we have a lot of laboratories, 40 research centers, 430 research and training laboratories. And we have a library that has more than 1 million electronic resources and other resources available. Two major projects going on. There are so many projects, but these two are kind of related to the topics that we are talking today. One of them is the eSite, emergence of creative industry and transformation of economy through innovative technology, which is about games, wearables, and new generation filmmaking. The other one is the Digital Innovation Center and machine manufacturers and automotive industries related, which have like $5 to $8 million of project budget. There are so many initiatives here. So we have these new ideas, new jobs acceleration program. We have the incubation center for educational technology and other technologies. We have the Atom, which is animation technology and digital gaming. And we have the ODTÜ, which is the Turkish of METU, actually. The technology transfer office. We have also the growth circuit, Invest 101 and CoZone. We have a new research park that we have just started to use this year. And we are organizing to put all of these research centers that are separated in different regions of the campus and that are related into this research park. And the AI courses regarding the concept of AI for today's presentation. We have some offered courses in METU. In the computer engineering department, we have the artificial intelligence course. We have two artificial intelligence courses, actually. In the cognitive science department, we have the cognition and machine learning. And we have the artificial intelligence for cognitive science courses. These two are graduate courses. In mathematics, we have the artificial intelligence and applications. In electrical engineering, we have the computational intelligence and artificial intelligence. And in computer education and instructional technology department, we have the artificial intelligence applications in education course. We have a student club, which is quite active, METU Artificial Intelligence Student Club. They are organizing for all of the students a lot of events. They try to create awareness on the importance of AI and the effect of it into learning and other sectors. They are inviting some important people from the public and the private sector to talk to students, to METU students. They are also creating or writing proposals, project proposals. We have the ROMER, Center for Robotics and Artificial Intelligence, as a research center, which has the Mechatronics Lab, Atlas Lab, which is actually creating robots, Motion Tracking Lab, and tiny small robots lab, the Kovan lab. So they are doing research on several types of robots. They have two major projects, which is one of them is called the Kalfa. It's for workplace robots, and Robo Royale, micro robotic, biological, and machine learning technologies are combined in that project together. And they have also some activities like urban planning and Lego Fit projects. I don't want to bore you with these, so that's why I'm just giving some snapshots of what they are doing. And they have a project called the Snap Earth and the Swarm, like using several tiny drones for common aim, swarm tracks, indoor and outdoor swarm tracks, Earth observation in the Snap Earth project. They have also more detailed information on their website. So what we are doing is we are trying to create some training and some technical support for instructors and students at Matthew for using technology enhanced learning in their for their courses. So I'm also a professor at computer education and instructional technology, and I have observed several trends. I have experienced several trends of technology affecting the learning and affecting K-12 and higher education. And when I look at the research and at the effect of those technologies, none of them were comparable to the effect of AI, because most of them were either challenge of change in media, challenge of delivery of course content, like changing the sequence, first presenting material and doing the activities, or doing the activities and then presenting material, doing the activities online and making actual activities in the class or lab. So like in the flipped classroom or blended learning, or presenting the media either with interactive video, at what time of interaction, what will be the time of interaction in each video. Those were typical discussions that we had. So, but when we come to the point of AI and the effect of it into the learning and into to our students and to our instructors, we see a different wave of effects, which need a good planning and good getting ready for the change. So two major points that we can discuss after the presentation, or if you have ideas, you can just say it right away. Two major effects that we observe. Now, considering that we are doing the learning activities specifically for one reason, which is actually student or learners acquiring and creating new skills and knowledge. So now, if that's the aim, then I would ask you, so what is the requirement for that? What is the single requirement for learning? Actually, it's not that complicated. We have only one single requirement for learning to occur. So if we simplify the problem, which is a very good approach for solving it, let's all together think about how learning occurs, or what is the single requirement of learning, and why AI is that critical in that. Any idea about why? What is the single requirement of learning? Okay. So you are in the room. in this room and listening to me. But whether you will go away with something that you have learned, or whether you go away with just remembering that there was such a session, is dependent on one single thing. That's the cognitive engagement of you. So the single requirement of learning is cognitive engagement with the content. So if the learner does not engage with the content, there's no learning possible. Now that's the biggest challenge of AI in education, because different from the other technologies like new media, new way of visualization, AR, VR, new methods for the structure of delivery of the course. Those were other issues. Those could be designed so that engagement could be enhanced and even could be taken out of the class with mobile learning, for example, to extend to other places in the life of the learner. But different from that is AI have the potential to disrupt, affect cognitive engagement of student with the learning content. How is that possible? It's very possible, because rather than trying to understand the different components of the taught content, of the presented content, and creating some form of higher order thinking skill to analyze it, to synthesize it, to create new things from it, the student could be relying on the services offered by the easy accessible AI tools. So one major thing that we need to consider is the effect of AI into cognitive engagement of the learner. That's for sure. If we don't take it into account, if we don't make it part of the instructional design, most probably it will be a distractor and it will negatively affect the learning outcomes. The second issue, the second major issue that we observe, that we see from our interaction with the instructors and with the students, is ethical concerns. Like if I put the prompts into a generative AI tool and create a product, is that my intellectual property, or is it someone else's? Whose intellectual property is it? Can I say I put in the prompts, so it should belong to me, or should I just give some credit to the tool, or should I give credit to the data that the tool has used to create this product? So how am I going to approach this? Can I use it as a research tool, and to what degree can I use it? Just about that, a few days ago, the Higher Education Council of Turkey released a paper on the ethical issues of using AI in higher education, and created some form of directions in how much it can be used in research and teaching. But this has to be really formalized, so that it is not hindering the productivity, but it is also not going towards a direction where there is no intellectual input, but still have some intellectual rights on a product. So that critical line has to be established, bold and red, and where it is a tool and where it is going towards intellectual property problem. And of course, there is the law and enforcement part, which is a different topic, but which has to be also kind of really talked about and has to be studied on. Using these tools as a productive tool for students and teachers creates new opportunities. So there are technical late adopters. If you look at the division of innovation of Rogers, we see that the late adopters have a tendency to just wait for some time before adapting it. Should we be late adopters? Should we wait for some time to see how this is processing? Or should we be proactive and design how this is going to be integrated to different systems and how we can use it more efficiently to enhance students' critical thinking, students' higher order thinking skills? Most of us would be agreeing, I guess, to the second choice, because the other one is not waiting for it to be saturated, would lead to many problems that we cannot foresee right now, but definitely will create some critical problems in all sectors. So in the workshops that we are creating for the university staff and students, we are trying to focus on the tools, but we are also focusing on the instructional design issues, because the tool is the tool. How you are going to blend it, how you are going to integrate it to promote learner cognitive engagement is the job of the instructional design. So which instructional methods, which instructional activities would be most beneficial to enhance learner engagement with the material and to enhance the learning of either a concept or a procedure. And that's what we are trying to solve. But in order to do that, we have also make sure that there is some form of critical thinking in the student, and there is some form of creative thinking in the student and the instructor as well, rather than trying to reject that the fact that students can have easy access to these tools and will use them, will definitely, if you leave the students, if you ask for an essay, I'm guaranteeing you that they will use these tools to create the content, and then they will use another tool to rephrase the content that they will created, and they will use another tool to translate those into the native language of the medium of teaching. So once they have done these three transformations, it will be very, very difficult to identify, and if it's a clever student and makes the required change to the top content, to the text, it will be very, very hard to identify whether this is a doing of a generative AI tool or whether this is a cognitive output of a student. So yeah, it's a big discussion, and I would like to thank you specifically for making this session and bring it on the table so it can be discussed and we can kind of jointly create some new ideas on how we can progress this and how we can maybe provide some solutions on this issue. Because as I said before, it's coming huge. It's not like any wave that I have observed. I think you will agree with me, most of you, especially those who are experienced in instructional technology, that this is something else. I mean, this is not just like a media change, or this is not like a sequence of instruction thing. This is a threat to cognitive engagement of students with the content, which might be hindering learning. If not taken into account with a good instructional design. So yeah, at this point, I would also leave some time for my colleague Funda, so she can kind of also present her ideas. Thank you for giving me the stage first, Funda. please, I can stop the sharing if you would like to continue, or I can control the slides, whichever you like.
I can share.
Okay, I will stop then.
Okay. I think we clearly talk about our ideas about our ideas about ethics and some points that we talk about, the important points. We thought that AI literacy. And first of all, we want to, with trainings or seminars, we want to educate our instructors in the university about AI literacy. And with instructing, with empowering them with AI literacy, we believe that they will, if they not resist to use technology in their courses, they will use effectively in their teaching practices. So we enhance AI literacy among educators with and they will their students will see how can be used in the courses. So within the case of academic ethics, if our educators learn, they can learn how to maybe define or see how how it can be used in their courses. With our some seminars, we want to aware skills, AI awareness and skills in the students. We want to teach AI ethics for young minds, and we make age-appropriate AI applications and AI applications workshop in some schools. And we want to expand AI literacy beyond METÜ with the workshops, seminars, and by prioritizing AI literacy and training for educators and students, we think that we foster a generation AI literatures and who can harness the power of the AI for positive change and contribute to responsible ethical digital futures. For ethical futures, we are I will show some courses, ethics courses. We are first we can learn ethics to our students and all. First of all, there should be courses, introduction courses. These courses should teach all about the foundations of AI, their ethical considerations, their applications, and their ethical dilemmas. There should be courses, not only computer science or engineering courses, but in also social sciences and humanities and other fields. And we should supply and provide a holistic understanding of AI and ethics. There should be, we think that as METÜ, there should be specialized ethics courses. There should be case studies. There should be regulatory frameworks, and about that, these courses should be about current database in the field. Moreover, the courses we offered, there should be research ethics clearly defined about on ethical practices involving AI, data privacy. There should be projects. We should include project-based learning with the real work AI applications, and they should understand the implication of their works. And there should be the ethical audits should be incorporated into as a part of their project assessment as they understand the implications of their works. Moreover, there should be workshops and seminars. There should be online resources that students should reach. and we should promote ethical culture about AI and AI ethics. We have some centers and a department in our philosophy and some special department in our philosophy department. We clearly define our ethics about code ethics as matter, and as applied research center, we have a research center about ethics. We made some conferences about use of AI in the research, and there are several courses and also ethics about computer technology courses, and our researchers work technology ethics, and these includes artificial intelligence. These are we think that these are the important points. And the other part of our presentation, how we make students become critical thinkers, because as Delialalı has said, when they interact with AI tools, there is a point that they may, when generative AI tools do all works for them, they cannot be critical thinking. So we should include our teaching practices, our theoretical frameworks to make them critical thinkers. We focus on students who possess a strong critical thinking skills, and they should ask right questions, express their own thoughts in an original manner. So to reach this, we have some courses from their they as preschool students when they are leaving the university. With these courses, as in our courses, we have special courses for this. We want them the pre-writing activities. They make oral presentation. They make discussions. They should use some paraphrasing and synthesis tools. So we try to make them be a critical thinker and write them and propose them or express them clearly in their works. We have some centers. One of them is academic writing centers. We might, our graduate students or our departments, organize their writings and express their ideas. Moreover, there are some courses about critical thinking, critical readings and thinking in our departments, at different departments, and students from different departments, students can take these courses. Moreover, and the other point that we want to talk in this presentation about AI and human engagement in classrooms. When utilizing technology in classrooms as another tool such as computers or some other technological tools used in the classroom, there should be some strategies such as blended learning and flipped classroom, which fosters in-person interactions and critical thinking abilities. When, for example, for flipped classrooms, students can access foundation of knowledge before and they can come to class, utilize their time for deeper discussions, problem solving, and collaborative learning experiences. In pandemic, from the pandemic, we make some seminars about blended learning and flipped classrooms, because we thought that in such an environment that technological tools used in the classroom, flipped classrooms and blended learning should be a good tools. Which says our instructors that gamification and interactive learning is a good part of teaching processes. And we have some in our learning management system also some gamification elements And we say our instructors to use these gamification elements for students to enhance engagement and make learning interactive. Sometimes in our courses we have guest lecturers and some industry experts. So we make a collaboration with our with technology, with sometimes there should be virtual guest lecturers, and there should be industry experts. And this allows students to engage with professionals from diverse backgrounds and enrich their learning experience, promoting real-world experiences. We have some clubs in our university, as Delilo said at the beginning of the presentation. And in this way, young people learn about the potential benefits and risks of AI, and they should be a part of this creation and a part of artificial intelligence procedures and decision making parts. We made a survey at each semester to our students and instructors. We collect their expectations and suggestions on use of technology, and this semester we use it in their expectations about and suggestions about artificial intelligence. Then we use this information to take into account development and implementation of AI policies in the courses and the seminars and conferences we made as distance education application and research centers. These are one of the student clubs, and they made Artificial Intelligence Day and called some sector representatives. They are big sector representative of the sectors, and in this way, and they will they encourage and learn about AI and other technology trends and participate on the discussions. The last one we talk about how we can make the learning lifelong and how AI can help in this and this way. These points, personalized learning journeys, learning analytics, interactive learning tools and simulations, comprehensive resource access, and AI-powered guiding and counseling can be seen anywhere about the effects of AI on learning in teaching and learning. How can they help personalized learning, and how learning analytics can track, analyze student learning patterns. At this point, we should carefully consider address the challenges, and we can harness the power of the AI to lifelong learning. Continuously, individuals continuously acquire knowledge, develop skills, and develop skills. But we should take into consideration of these challenges, over reliance on AI. We should, there's sometimes we see that the answer is not appropriate, so we teach and we think about the correctness of the answer the AI give us. There should be accessibility and equality. All students in the university, regardless of their academic background or geographic location, should be access all AI-powered solutions. They should be made. They should be made to bridge the digital divide, and we should ensure equitable access to technology. These are we all talk and we all say about in this presentation. This is our. We say that we can change the world together. Thank you. It's end of our presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alptekin, Professor Deliliolu. It was very interesting and very inspirational as a presentation. Before moving on to the questions, to the first round of questions, we'd like to invite, however, Mr. Prodromos Markopoulos, Education Manager from Educate, to share with us also the industry perspective. We had the universities, we heard your ideas, your voice. We'd like to have a more inclusive view by inviting a representative of the industry. So, Mr. Markopoulos, thank you for being with us. The floor is yours.
Hello. Thank you very much for the invitation. Very insightful presentation from the two professors. Let me share my screen as well. I have a very short presentation highlighting some points here. Okay. Just let me know if everything is okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So, hello, everyone. I would like to thank you for giving me the chance to be here with you and present some of my personal thoughts and how we see the AI in education. I'm Prodromos Markopoulos. I come from Greece. My background is on the IT field, and I currently work with Educate as an educational manager. Our company, Educate, is based here in Greece, and we are an EdTech company providing educational solutions and high-quality professional development. We offer a wide range of educational technology products to schools, education and technology spaces, innovative spaces, independent groups, and we support all ages and school grades from kindergarten, pre-K, K-12 to university. We collaborate with the biggest EdTech brands worldwide, like the Lego Education, Arduino Education, Kahoot, and many others. Our portfolio lately includes some solutions that focus on AI, and this is really a starting point for every student and for every teacher. So in order to start, I would like to, define what we mean by AI in education, because AI is a very broad field. So from my point of view, I see two different dimensions. So first, we have artificial intelligence in the context that refers to the use of algorithms like machine learning algorithms and data analytics in order to enhance both the learning and the administrative process. And some examples that we talk about later is personalized learning or automated grading. And then we have the second dimension in which AI is a subject to teach, which involves teaching the principles behind the field, techniques, the ethical considerations of AI, how we prepare students to understand what AI is, how the AI technologies are developed, and how they could possibly develop AI technologies in the future. I truly believe that the second dimension is really important, and there should be created a curriculum around AI, and it will be, I'm pretty sure, sooner or later. So it's crucial to understand the challenges when it comes to develop a curriculum like this, since AI is a so broad field. A complete curriculum should not only focus in the technical aspects, like the professors mentioned before. So, of course, yes, there are the technical parts, but we should also include the ethical parts and the social implications, bias, fairness, how AI affects society. Today, there are interdisciplinary connections like linguistics, cognitive science. So it's very important to approach the AI field holistically. So in the next slides, we will focus in the first dimension. We will not talk about how it could be implemented as a lesson, as a course. So is AI a friend or a foe? Or maybe is it something else? Well, AI, in fact, offers numerous benefits in education, which makes it a really valuable friend and a very good teaching tool in our toolkit. Firstly, we can offer personalized learning, which is very important because we can tailor educational context to meet every individual student needs. We can enhance their learning experience. AI can customize lessons to fit the individual learning styles, the pace that every student needs, and also can identify areas where students might struggle or they might need additional resources in order to understand any subject. Also, AI can offer efficiency. We can use many tools to automate it. We call them the boring stuff, like creating or administrative tasks. So AI can provide immediate feedback, automate the scheduling, allowing the educators to focus more on their teaching rather on the repetitive tasks that consume much of their time. Of course, there are the negative sides of this. We will talk about this in the next slide. Also, we can enhance the learning tools. AI-powered tools like virtual tutors and adaptive learning software can make the education more engaged, and we need this engagement. And probably you all know the very famous app Duolingo, which we can use to learn a new language, which uses now AI to adapt the language learning exercise to the user's skill level and the learning pace. And also, I'm pretty sure that many of you and those who come from the educational field know Kahoot, the platform that you can create quizzes and many other tools. Kahoot, the Edu version, which is our partner here in Greece, includes AI in order to provide ready-made Kahoots based on the user's prompts. So it works like the ChatGPT. You ask something and then you get a bank of questions ready-made to use. Something that I find really important is the accessibility. AI tools can help providing resources for students with disabilities, such transforming speech to text for hearing impaired students, ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to learn. And something that I would like to point out that it could be used in order to early identification of student difficulties by analyzing patterns and provide early intervention. So there are softwares, of course, they need to be developed more to be more good in terms of results. However, there are some challenges that we have to point out, which maybe make AI tools look like a fog, even if I don't like the word very much. So AI systems, we know that collect and store vast amount of data, and from our perspective, we are talking about student data. So it's raising concerns about privacy and data breaches that may come. And there is also the risk of data misuse from unauthorized parties, especially when we talk about the example before with students who may have difficulties and who gets this access from all this information. We talk about the access before and equity. The implementation of AI in education highlights existing equity and access issues. Do all students have access to education today equally? No. Many students, particularly those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds or rural areas, lack access to necessary technology or internet connectivity. So unequal resource allocation already affects learning opportunities and outcomes. So in order to provide something that really works, we need inclusive policies to ensure that all students can benefit from all this AI-enhanced education. You mentioned before about the ethical concerns, and of course, AI systems can perpetuate and amplify existing biases, leading to unfair treatment of certain student groups. Also, there are ethical dilemmas that arise when AI systems make important educational decisions that maybe impact students' future. So before we use them, we have to be really sure that all these treat every student in the same level and fair to every student. Then we have the dependency of technology, which is also already mentioned, the risk of dependency and how it can affect the critical thinking. Over-reliance on AI tools might impact students' ability to think critically and their way to solve problems independently. And also we have the teacher side. So yes, AI can be used to create content that makes it fast, can be really engaging, but maybe this content is not that reliable. And also this can lead to lack of creativity from the side of the teachers. So the effectiveness of AI-driven educational tools can be varied, and there is a risk that they maybe not meet the educational standards or to be as effective as the traditional teaching method that we already have. So evaluating and ensuring that the quality of AI application in education is a very essential part. And something that mentioned before, it's the integration. And the professors mean that they already provide training to students or higher end level teachers. So integrating AI tools into the existing educational infrastructures and ensuring that educators are properly trained, it's very important. So we know that all these tools can be used effectively and can be in the right path in order to create the best outcome for the students, because it's completely different when we talk about university students and students that are in the primary level of education and what they need are. So I don't think that we have to see it as a friend or a foe, because given all the benefits and the challenges, it's important to recognize that it's better if we see it as a tool. And like any other tool we are using, it has both the beneficial and, let's say, some less beneficial uses. So in order to make it better, we need to develop clear guidelines and policies. We have to ensure transparency and fairness. AI should augment and not replace the educators by handling their routine tasks and providing insights, allowing teachers to focus more on the personalized instruction. Actually, truly, I don't believe that the educator and his role can be replaced or will be replaced in the future, but the educator can be amplified. Continuous monitoring and evaluating the help we get, we can ensure that all the AI tools we use meet the educational goals and standards that allow necessary adjustment. AI, we know it gets better from feedback, and we can be better from receiving and evaluating this feedback. Training educators to use AI effectively is the key to the successful integrations. Providing workshops and continuous learning opportunities can help teachers stay informed about the latest AI tools and the best practices. The first investment should be on the educators out there, and initiative like these webinars you are running today is a bright example. So in order to sum up, we can better leverage the benefits of AI while minimizing the potential downsides by developing inclusive, diverse data sets which fit the AI systems, enforce strict privacy protection, evaluate the effectiveness of the AI system in a regular basis, and maintain the human oversight. The human is the integral part in this connection, and ensure accessibility to everyone, address the ethical concepts, and provide training and engage all the stakeholders. So this is from my point side, or from my side, and thank you very much for your attention. If you ever want to be connected, you can reach me with an email or find me on LinkedIn. Also, you can contact our company, and we can discuss how we can provide you with educational learning tools, not only to implement AI in your educational courses, but also how we can implement technology in education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Markopoulos, for sharing with us the industrial perspective as well. I'm sure we all have questions. So before moving on with the presentation of the survey conducted by the ICBSS, I'd like to open the floor to any questions we may have. I'm not sure if we have also students among us, but in any case, any questions you may have are more than welcome. So we have a hand raised by our host. So, Ms. Hanji, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to our distinguished speakers today. Very informative and very thought-provoking presentations. You actually very eloquently summed up all that is in our minds, listening and reading about the AI. We have used the opportunity to have this webinar today as an introduction on how the AI tools are used in education, because we find that this sector, the education sector, I mean, is quite involved and affected by the use of the AI tools. I must say I was very amazed about from Professor Delialioglu's comment that the students become very critical, I don't know, very resourceful, using many tools, combining many tools to produce a paper rather than doing the traditional research and produce something original. It's amazing. My question actually goes to all our three panelists. First of all, to our Turkish colleagues, if you see, I see that METU has developed a very inclusive approach in dealing with the AI. If you have any knowledge about other universities in Turkey using the same approach, or is it just pioneering by your university? And if Mr. Markopoulos has knowledge about Greek universities having developing an approach on the ethical and the use of and the proper use of AI tools by students and by the professionals in the sector. First to our Turkish colleagues, thank you very much.
Thank you, Georgia. You can call me Omar, all of you. So my last name is kind of a little hard to pronounce. I'm aware of that. Regarding your questions about Turkish universities, just like all EU countries, or actually all over the world, the issue about AI and its effect into higher education is also a highly important topic in Turkey. We have a council called the Higher Education Council, or Council of Higher Education, where all of the universities, private or public, are coordinated according to the national workforce needs and other regulations that will guide and lead the higher education of Turkey. And this council has a focus on AI, the teaching of AI, and using it as a tool in different sectors. So integrating it to the curriculum of different departments, and also teaching it as a course in computer science and other related departments. So there have been an initiative and call for projects and also for new courses in all of the universities. I can't tell right away how many universities have created new courses, but there are new faculties, new departments, and new courses in related departments all over Turkey in different public and private universities. So it's a hot issue right now. And there have been a lot of researchers from different fields drawn by this vortex of AI and AI-related research, including myself, looking at the educational side of AI. So I can tell that there are several initiatives in most of the Turkish universities, and especially on the leading research universities, about research on AI and application of AI in different fields, and especially in education. I don't know if this answers your questions, but there's an ongoing initiative regulated and led by the Higher Education Council.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if Mr. Markopoulos would like to note something on if he has the knowledge about a similar initiative in Greece, for example.
Yes, since our company is collaborating with many universities, well, we provide them the educational tools for STEM or robotics education. We have a close collaboration with the University of Macedonia, which many years now creating educational content which use EdTech technology and solutions for STEAM educational robotics. The university has a laboratory, an initiative that called LIRES. I will write it in the chat so if everyone wants to search about it. And they are developing equipment for that bridges technology with social application. So they have the DAISY robot, which is used for students with difficulties in learning. So you can find many nice examples in the University of Macedonia. It's sciences of education and lifelong learning. Also, the same university offer a master degree program on STEAM and robotics, but from the educational perspective, not from the industry perspective. So also you can find many things there. The professor is Mr. Nikolaos Pahatidis. So you know, I'm saying this for the professor from Turkey. If you ever need to find something in Greece from the perspective of education, University of Macedonia offers many things to students. Also, they have an educational robotics academy, which is a network in whole Greece to other after-school programs. So yes, there are many universities, but we especially we know this one because it focuses from the perspective of education and not from the technical aspects of robotics or AI.
Thank you very much, Mr. Markopoulos. Are there any other questions? Because I also have two questions, if I may. Any questions to our speakers from the audience, please? Okay, let me ask mine, and then we'll see for the second round. So, a question as a member of the CPMR staff, starting with our friends from Turkey. How could the regional authorities, or how your university works with the regional authority? That means with the governorship of Ankara, with the municipality of Ankara. How do you interact? How do they support you for your research, or with funding, or facilitate your laboratories? Because I have an example from our membership. I'll put them on the chat right now from the region of Western Greece. So we have, first of all, because I saw the creative projects you have as a university, so we have a partnership under the European Commission's center, Joint Research Center, about cultural creative regional ecosystems. where regional authorities are involved because they have smart specialization strategies, but still they cooperate with the universities based in their territories. And then we also have the example of the University of Patras in the region of Western Greece that has a teaching factory competence center that is a deep know-how and expertise institution in the area of digitalization and Industry 4.0 technologies. So my question as a member of the CPMR staff is how do you work with the regional and local authorities, and how could they support you towards your goals? The same question to Mr. Markopoulos through the eyes of, through the perspective of the industry. And another question to our friends from Turkey is, as a student myself, and I hope that my professor is not online, I'm quite reluctant to use these tools because I know that technology is upskilling if correctly used. I know that it could be also de-skilling and demotivating, but for me it's mainly the fear of plagiarism. If I cheat, how could they cover it? So thank you for your feedback, for your advice as well.
Thank you, Stavros. Nice questions. Let's start with the second one. So if there are any plagiarisms, there are tools that can detect it, like Turnitin. But some of them might not be, if you are using a sequence of tools and then combine your own intellect afterwards, it might be hard for them to detect whether you have used some AI tools or not. That's the truth. I mean, it's not always possible to detect whether a student has used it or not. At the end of the day, you might be accusing someone who is actually not guilty. So that's would be a bigger disaster rather than someone passing through without getting recognized. In that perspective, right now, at the current level of the technology, it is still possible to use a mixture of tools and then customize it. Concept. Even the AI tool is doing it for you. If you say, if you put a prompt, a role-based prompt, like write it like a 17-year-old high school student, it will write it as a 17-year-old high school student. So, or if you say put a little bit pronunciation problematic text inside it, or put a little bit textual problems in it, it will put it. I mean, it's all possible with the AI, as you know. So it might be a little bit hard to detect for a human mind. It's a challenge. But there are tools which are detecting it. And I think there might be also some, there in the future, I expect to have some instructor or teacher tools that might be asking specifically if some of these related textual requests were sent to the tools and how it was providing an output, so that they could check whether there is a resemblance with the presented material and the material that was created with the AI tool. And after working with a little bit, it become, as an instructor, people become used to detect the points to catch. That's my personal experience. When I read a text, I think some of you also could be doing this. When I read a text, I can, to a degree, understand whether it was a product of a AI tool or not, because of the sentence structure, even if it was customized, because of the wording. There are some wording structures that the AI tools are using again and again. So when you ask it to ChatGPT, it will use some words predominantly. When you ask it to Gemini, it will use some words predominantly. And if you use them again and again, you observe those words. And if you catch them, you get suspicious. But proofing it is another issue. How to prove it is another issue. So you could get without being catched, but these tools like Turnitin and others are getting better and better to observe any text that would be created by a large language algorithm. So they are getting better and better to catch it. Regarding your first question, could you remind us about that?
Yes, it is about the cooperation of universities and regional and local authorities.
Yeah, our university has a very, very strong technopark. So in our technopark, we have offices of Ministry of Education, especially on educational technology. Actually, it was in our slides, but I think because of the time issue, we didn't show it. It's called ATKIM. So they are doing all these university and public teaching, K-12 teaching connections in terms of educational technology, creating new projects, even creating proposals for EU supported projects, and all those local or international project submissions are handled by those. They are also creating some summer schools and other. Yeah, this is the place at KIM. It's in Ottu Teknokent. So they are actually creating AI and education related, educational technology related content. Regarding the other institutes, we have a close relation to Council of Higher Education. We are about to prepare another project with them. So it's basically the cooperation is project based, but we have also some IPA projects from Europe on those issues, on the fields that need to be promoted and that need to be enhanced in Turkish universities or other public sectors. So we have close relations with the local organizations, public or private, especially since we have the Technopark. Most of this interaction occurs through the Technopark. I hope it provides an answer to your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Did I left anything out? If I have, please feel free to.
I can say something about how we can detect, or our professors in the university try to detect the text written by AI. Some of them made students ask students write a summary about their readings at the beginning of the courses in 5 minutes, and asking some questions about their essays, and try to learn about, do you have clearly understand what they read and write. So even if they use ChatGPT or Gemini to write the essays, if they learn, it's okay. But if they do not learn, the problems start here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even if it's in AI, during those sequences, when they try to adapt it to their local way of writing, if they absorb, if they get the cognitive engagement with the content, that's okay. That's the aim. actually. If it provides that, it's okay. But if not that, then a problem exists. Yes.
Sorry, just coming from your comment now, but what about the bias? I mean, the AI tools do not produce original knowledge. They are actually gathering the knowledge existing in the internet and presenting it in a very nicely and easy understandable way. And we have observed that there is bias in the internet. So how do you address that? I mean, they are learning, yes, but what if they are learning only one aspect of a topic, for example, an issue?
Before artificial intelligence, students also look internet, Google, and take information from there from different pages. With the artificial intelligence, they write only one source and give information, and this make the time they spent on making research on Google. So I think the problem is there before artificial intelligence and after artificial intelligence. It's about they see that it is correct what they see on the internet.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm sorry, I'm playing devil's advocate here. The thing is that when you Google search something, you, as a student, I remember during my years, for example, we learned that Wikipedia should not be considered a reliable source. So when you Google search something, you know how to assess the source, whether it is reliable or not. Whereas with ChatGPT, for example, or any other tool, you just see the knowledge there without references. So you don't know if it is coming from Harvard University, for example, or is someone putting it, a random person in a random university putting it online, or even not in a university. This is what I'm saying. I'm just thinking out loud mainly. And my question was also, do you allow citations from judge? For example, if someone produces a paper to you and using as reference an AI tool, do you allow that? Do you accept that?
No. No, I don't accept ChatGPT. Neither do I accept Wikipedia. This has crowd sources, so they are not scientific sources. That's why I don't accept them. Neither do most of the professors. But being honest and saying that they have used it, but they have used it for creating a framework, and then they worked on each of these parts. If it's okay, if it fits the objectives, it could be considered okay. I mean, if it's in the instructional design, having them do that, it can be okay. But I agree with you the points. That's why we have all these issues about these discussions about whether and to what degree and how we will integrate AI into education. I mean, it's a big problem on whether we should rely on the higher order thinking skill that we require from the students to go to use to create by looking at different resources in the internet, putting them together, creating a new synthesis. That's what we expect from as an intellectual output from a higher education student. That's what we expect as an instructor to occur. If that's not occurring, even if the student has used the product and changed it and remembers that, it's not a guarantee that the higher order thinking skill has occurred. We don't know if it was applied, if it was synthesized, to what degree it was synthesized. We are not sure about it. But at least by pre-asking about the essay, it creates a level of check, level of control for the students to at least read whatever they are going to submit. You might be amazed by the homework that are submitted, not even read by the students themselves. They just take the output, copy paste it, and send it, and then they get rid of it. It's the professor's problem to detect whether it was written by someone other resource. It's all the problem of the instructor, and not the problem. If the instructor has not time to go over the written material to find any problems, then they will just pass it. They will just have done it without any problem. Okay, so that's an issue. Yeah, it's an ethical issue. That's why we have to set some directions for ethical use.
Thank you very much, Professor.
That's why it's important to focus. That's what we say, to develop critical thinking to students. Not when they reach the level of university, but in the early stages, they have to start learning critically. This is the first skill that future of job requires. And if we look to the World Economic Forum, we see that the 10 top skills that highlights every year, the annual report, critical and analytical thinking is the first. Oh, it was needed before AI, and it will be needed for the age of AI, to take the data back and know how to evaluate this and how to make it not yours, to make the machine produce learning for you, but how to use all these contents to learn something. So I agree with our professor said that if you take this, you read this, you evaluate it, you measure it, and then you absorb the knowledge, then okay, this is a win-win situation. And also, one notice, I'm having a master's degree now in the University of Athens, and in one lesson, in one of our courses now, we have the ability to use ChatGPT or any other generative language AI tool, if we use a reference and station of how we use it and in which part. But just one course. This is revolutionary.
Thank you very much, Mr. Markopoulos. As a student, I have to say that what I learned is that I have to be more cautious if I decide to cheat. Follow your advice. But if we have time after the second round, because we need also to look at the survey conducted by the ICBSS, we could a bit explore how we could encourage students from an early stage to be critical thinkers, ask the right questions, and make sure that what they write reflects their own thinking, and put their idleness aside. Before that, we'd like to invite Ms. Bessie from the ICBSS to share with us the first results of the survey. I'd like to remind that the survey will remain open until the end of the month. So please be so kind as to share with your contacts. All feedback is more than welcome and very highly appreciated. Ms. Bessie, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. And now I'm going to share my screen. Okay. As already discussed, in the context of our webinar, we have prepared a short online survey about the use of AI in education to help set the scene. The survey received 20 responses. However, it is still open and you can respond until the end of May. Regarding the respondents, the majority are women. The survey was completed primarily by individual in the 41 to 50 and 51 to 60 age groups. The majority of participants are from Greece, with representation also from Belgium, Romania, the Russian Federation, and Turkey. As for their professional status, most of the respondents work in academia, primary, secondary, or higher education, as well as industry and business. The other respondents work in research centers, in the governance and public sector, in civil society organizations, and also a percentage of 15% are also students. Finally, 55% of participants work in the scientific field of social sciences and humanities, while the remaining 45% work in policy making and policy delivery, natural sciences and formal sciences. Well, now, as for the questions about the use of AI in education, the first question is how AI can influence the teaching and learning process. The vast majority, 90%, view AI positively and believe it can improve educational outcomes. In contrast, 10% believe AI can hinder outcomes. Despite the generally positive outlook, there are a number of concerns that require attention. In particular, 65% of respondents believe that plagiarism is the main problem arising from the use of AI in education, while reduced human interaction in the learning process and limited cognitive function due to automation are also high on the list. Other concerns include job displacement for teaching personnel, unequal access to AI-powered resources, and data privacy and security. Only 5% of respondents indicated that they had no concerns about the topic. In this context, the next question is about the AI-related cheating methods that are the most prevalent in education. The majority, 90% of respondents, believe that AI-powered essay generators for written assignments is the most common tool. Apart from that, there are also other methods which are also high on the list, including the copying or sharing of AI-generated code and algorithms, AI-driven translation tools, and last but not least, the use of chatbots or voice assistants for assistance during exams. Taking into account all these concerns, we understand that there is an important ethical aspect to this issue that cannot be marginalized. In this context, 80% of respondents believe that students need to be fully educated about the ethical use of AI in their work, while 15% believe that some education is necessary. Consequently, despite the positive outlook, it is observed a need to establish an appropriate regulatory framework. Finally, 50% of the respondents have already used AI to facilitate their work. And last but not least, issues that were highlighted by some participants and that can feed the discussion for future webinars are the use of AI by politicians and policymakers, the implementation of more friendly ways of using AI, making this tool an ally rather than an enemy, the know-how of AI mechanisms and functions, and the ethical aspect that is already mentioned. So this is from our side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bessie, and we are sure that after today's webinar, you'll get more replies. And I'd like to stay a bit on the last slide you used about the use of AI by politicians and policymakers, since they are the members of the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions. I'd like to see a bit with both the professors from Turkey and Mr. Markopoulos about the risks. And it's also part of what we said before, how we could encourage young people to start with to follow a more traditional approach when it comes to depicting their own ideas on the paper. How we should convince them that being less quick in producing something written, and more genuine is the right way to do things. I know it's an ethical, philosophical question, but still, it's politics have a huge impact on our lives, and we should make sure that if they ever use artificial intelligence, it will be for good.
I would like to say a few words about that. So one of the things that we have to emphasize when we take AI in as a new challenge in all of the fields, actually, not just education, but in all of the fields, not just generative AI, but also AI in action, integrated to several tools that we are using day in, day out, commercially or in other ways. So when we use these tools, when we apply these tools, first of all, there's a form of consent needed that we are, in some cases, not asked. Like all the data that we put out into the cloud is considered like a public data that can be used as long as it is digital. There is such a paradigm that we have to reconsider, I think. And the AI tools, the generative AI tools, actually are built on that paradigm. If it's in the internet, it can be used. But we know that it's not correct, it's not true. Something that we put into the internet is not based on our consent. Maybe it might be visual, audio, or written materials. So when we consider that, then the general data protection law becomes even more important. And it has to be kind of a little bit enforced when we consider the use of AI in different places. So when students use it, besides asking them whether it's lawful or not, they have to also consider to ask them whether it's ethical or not. And this is not an easy issue because it's so tempting. I myself use AI, generative AI, all the time, since it's very tempting when starting to work on something and you want to create a framework to work on and then continue to it. It's always difficult to start from scratch than start with something that exists. So the first step when trying to create a report or an essay is to ask it to a generative AI and then take the output and maybe then work on it, and maybe at the end it might be a totally different thing, but still start with such a thing. So politically or regulatory work is needed on setting the boundaries of not just lawful, but also acceptable use of AI in different sectors. Among them, of course, is the education, especially in education. Where do the boundary begin? To what degree can we use AI in creating different materials? But we have to also ask the vice versa. To what degree can the AI tools use the materials that we prepare as an input data source? Because all those learning occurs through the data that they collect. So whether we don't know if those people had any consent when they were writing those materials. It's easy to use them, but when we get the output, it's based on a learning algorithm, machine learning, deep learning, all those things come into play. And at the end, some form of mechanical algorithmic thing is working to create the sentence by putting all those related texts that will fit best together by looking at the possible acceptable text that will need to be put next to the sentence. So when they use those resources, they have to give some form of recognition, some form of consent to the people who have actually put those materials in. So I think they will not like this idea, especially the generative AI companies, but definitely some form of regulation is needed in setting the range of data that they can use and that they can't use. That's the open end of the system right now. Nobody can question them. Nobody can question them, and does not have the tools besides to check which resources these tools are using to create the products that they are providing. So some form of regulation seems to be needed over there. I don't say there should be any enforcement or something, no, but some form of regulation would be good in setting the type of data that they can use and the type of data that they can't use. And besides, of course, telling the students and the learners that these are actually tools that don't have any ethical feelings, that these are only algorithms. So they should be aware of the thing and that they are using. I hope this answers part of your question.
No, thank you very much, because it's quite clear, and we can also see the need for training the trainers. That means that the departments of educational sciences at all universities, I presume that if not all, most of them, or they gradually integrate the use of AI in their curricula.
Yeah.
I want to say something about using AI. Even if it requires some writing capabilities such as prompt writing, even we use so much, we can should lose our speaking and writing skills in the daily life. I think it is such like using so many Google Maps, finding a way. When I use Google Maps going to somewhere, and always at some time passes, I forgot how to go there by walking or by my car without Google Maps. So using so much artificial intelligence tools may result students to talk effectively in their daily life. So we should teach them to write and to be a critical thinking in the early stages before university.
Thank you very much. Indeed, this is what we all need as citizens, I think. And when having said citizens as well, I don't know, how could you think that we could use the AI to support lifelong learning? The question goes to all our panelists.
Well, I can say from my own experience how to use it. I use ChatGPT lately to create custom learning paths. For example, I want to study something, and I ask to find me resources, videos on YouTube or books to make recommendations and provide me a path how to do it in order to fit it in my everyday schedule. Or let's say I need to study 5 hours per week, this specific lesson, and please provide me a guideline how to do it. So every day it sends me step by steps, things that I can do, and I have a program to follow. So this is like a private tutor, and I can use it in order to learn something or to remember something. And this is a way how it can support the lifelong learning, at least from my own experience so far, from personal use, again, not from the aspect of work or something else.
Thank you very much, Mr. Markopoulos. From Ankara, any comments?
So the use of AI for lifelong learning can be in aspect of creating courses. One way of looking at it, because using the generative AI tools, it becomes easier to create online courses as easy as never been before. So if you have a textual material, even including some visual materials, you can simply turn it into an instruction in quite easy steps. Like it takes less than half an hour to create a video course on a topic that you even don't know in depth. Like as an example, we are making participants of our courses do a sample course on cybersecurity. So some of them don't have any idea about cybersecurity or digital security, but in just half an hour, they have a complete course with somebody who is talking and presenting the material as a video. So we show them how to create the content, how to turn that content into a text-to-speech content, having a audio content, how to convert that audio content into a video with all those necessary pictures and visual materials included in the video. And in half an hour, it's all there. So having the possibility to create online courses that easily makes it possible that there will be more people teaching a lot of lifelong learning related courses, and having more MOOCs that will teach several range of courses that they have prepared using maybe the AI tools. And I think there's not much wrong about it, as long as they give credit to the original text or to the content, because it's just a matter of turning it into a complete online course, even including some interaction with the learner. So more courses can be created, which can be accessed by more learners that need especially professional development or other forms of maybe just hobby or interested in a topic, in doing something in teaching procedural or conceptual content is possible. So it might have a booming effect on online courses that are offered by several different organizations, because it makes it really easy for organizations to create these courses.
Yes, please.
So actually, I had a question and it fits perfectly to Omer's reply. We saw in the survey that in the top risks from using AI was job displacement for teachers. And I know that there was also some discussion here in Greece that the AI will make teachers lose their jobs. But as we progress with using AI, do we see this as a valid risk in the end? I would say no, but I want.
I mean, yeah, people don't want to directly admit it, but there will be some form of side effects of making it the process of creating courses that easy, and there can be a form of effect that negative effect on especially instructional system designers, instructional designers that are creating online courses, because it becomes easier and easier. Maybe there might be more demand for organizations and companies who can provide these tools rather than having more content experts, because now the content comes from AI. What is needed is the tool and the ability to put those content into the tool to create an online course. So the priority changed. The priority previously was the content expert, because that was the source of knowledge. But the source of knowledge has changed, and the tool to create the content has become more important.
Thank you very much for everything. Yes, Ms. Hanzi.
May I also add something?
Yes,
here?
yes,
AI. I truly don't believe I mentioned this in my slides also. AI can't replace the teacher and the role of the educator. It has the potential to automate certain aspects of education, but the role of the teacher is more likely to evolve than to be disappear. So the human elements of teaching, like empathy, inspiration, the social touch, the way that the teacher creates this supporting learning environment can be replaced from a machine. Even if we made it perfect, still the human interaction can never be replaced, especially in the classroom.
May I ask something?
Yes, of course. If you could also introduce yourself.
Yes, of course. I'm Manuel Houstoulakis, and I'm assistant professor in University of Peloponnese in Greece, and I teach AI-related courses and generally IT-based courses, and it's very delightful, and I'm very happy to share this talk about AI-related issues, and it's very hopeful that these topics start to take a central role in the main design of every educational system around the globe. Specifically, not to spend your time, I would like to ask one thing. I remember my primitive study years as a student, about 20 years and more in the past, when I studied in a master program. It was in the first cycle of its existence in 2004, and I graduated from a master program in e-learning. It was the first of its class, and I remember that years we learned that to build an effective instructional design, we needed an educator and an engineer. The effective collaboration between an engineer and an educator gave that results that promised a class and a course that contained all the needed materials, educational and of design, that gave the ideal result for the student. Now, with the coming of AI, we see that engineer has somehow has been replaced by the AI machine. But the educator, I think, and this is my opinion, is the main and the central role in the class. And I agree with Mr. Markopoulos that the human and the critical aspect of learning cannot be replaced by any kind of technology, because the main reason why students still want and will want to educate in the future is not only the aspect of cheat or not cheat, and it's not right to see the process of AI only as a tool, as very right Mr. Markopoulos told us earlier. It's the aspect of subject, and AI has to give us very many benefits, not only as a tool but as a subject to teach. And in this point of view, the motivation, the intrinsic motivation of student and the extrinsic motivation of teacher, along with the educational environment besides the lesson, are the two factors that will determine the success and the fertility of all these programs. And again, congratulations on your very important contributions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll make sure that we'll follow up. Using or not AI to write our emails to you, we will do. So any last comments from our panelists before closing this very interesting webinar?
Sorry,
Yes?
Mr. Kalognomos, only a last observation. Now I'm collaborating with PhD candidates, and I'm doing research on AI-related issues in education from the point of view of entrepreneurship. So I have two PhD candidates with me that we work on the issue of how to educate students in Greece in the not in the high school, but in the lower classes of first education. And we will see how to educate them to become aware of the principles and the tools that need to guide them in the process of being successful entrepreneurships after the graduation from high school. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor, and we look forward to receiving your feedback and the first results on that.
Thank you.
So, any last comments from our panelists?
Just a few questions to think to ourselves.
So our homework for the next meeting.
No, just let's
Okay.
let's trigger a few thoughts before leaving. If we would have the choice, would we prefer to have a medical doctor that has used AI intensively through its educational process, or in a building that has been built by a civil engineer who has used AI intensively and highly during his educational stage, or someone who hasn't used it? So we have to answer ourselves honestly about whether we would feel any kind of uneasiness about going to one of these or similar things. So if we are not any uncomfortable, then there is no problem. We can just proceed with the way that we are doing right now. If we feel some form of uncomfortability, we have to locate the place where we feel uncomfortable, why we feel uncomfortable, and try to fix it through our maybe suggesting some new instructional approach or some new regulations that might be helping to maybe hinder the effect of lowering the cognitive engagement of the learner. So it's not a matter of being pro or con, but it's a matter of being realistic and finding the places that needs to be thought about. And I think we are doing great in those, looking at the effort overall in the world. We are at the edge of coming to some form of solutions in our higher and K-12 educational systems. So I'm very hopeful that we will have all those research and the results of the research and then combine them and have more effective educational settings and educational processes. I would like to thank everybody, especially those who have organized these and invited us, and all the participants who have been here for the last 2 hours listening to our talks. Thanks, and have a wonderful day and a weekend.
Thank you very much, all. Thank you, Ms. Hanzi. Yes, please.
As some final closing remarks on behalf of the organizers, if I may, I would like to thank of course, you, Stavros, for moderating this very interesting event, and our 3 panelists and participants. Your inputs and interventions were excellent, thought-provoking, and I think they both answered some of our questions, but also created new ones. As ICBSS, we are the related body and the think tank of the Organization of the Black Sea Economic Cooperation. And in our capacity as such, we will convey the results of today's discussion to the next meeting of the Working Group on Education, with the hope that it will create some synergies for similar future events with the cooperation of the 13 BSEC member states. We are at the disposal of our distinguished panelists and participants to explore new ways of cooperation under this subject, because it has a lot to offer in the discussion. Thank you very much, everyone, for today's meeting. The webinar has been recorded and will be uploaded on the ICBSS YouTube channel in the coming days. And we hope to see you again with an on-site event this time, maybe in Athens or maybe somewhere else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all. And
Thank you very much.
just to close, because we started with AI, and I think that the last question from Professor Delialiolu was on EI, emotional intelligence, because this is what was missing. So maybe something to explore in the future. Thank you all. Hope to see you soon, and we'll get back to you with any cooperation opportunities that may arise.
Have a nice day.
Great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.